to say. I mean, Manchester United are slacked off a bit this season, but you'd expect them to improve in the next campaign, and it's difficult. I mean, Everton find it difficult to break into the top 6, and they're a good side, and you know, I think top 10 is, I think that's pretty good for the Foxes.
Yeah, I think so too. But it just seems like that Puel is not destined to be in charge for much longer at Leicester, and it's not the first time that things behind the scenes seems to have fallen apart, as was the case at Southampton. Might come back and talk about that a little bit later, because Chelsea have a free kick. It's not quite in a shooting position, a bit too far out and a bit too much of an angle on it for Willian to have a strike at goal. Willian eventually clips that one in. Schmeichel comes and punches it away. Hazard collects about 30 yards from goal, works it to Kovacic, and now it's worked out to the far side. We'll keep you up to date with the scores elsewhere as and when they change in the Premier League this afternoon. This is one of 6 3 o'clock kickoffs. Ball forward towards Hazard again. Hazard dummies it. Felt like there was a runner coming in behind, but it rolls out of play for a goal kick. Hazard unable to make anything happen on that occasion. There's Sardi saying that this would be a difficult game for his team. Must be happy with how life has started at Chelsea. They've only lost 2 games in the Premier League all season. In fact, that's the only games they lost in all competitions. You know, it's not a bad start to life for a new manager.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite similar to Emery at Arsenal. I think they've both had very good starts and a few defeats, and of course Chelsea inflicted the first domestic loss of the campaign for Manchester City. So, you know, I still think they're just slightly off challenging for the title. I still think they'll be in or thereabouts towards the end, but they need a couple more quality signings to come in. I think you look at the money that the likes of City and Liverpool have spent over the past seasons, and you know, the players they've brought in. I think Chelsea have maybe just eased off ever so slightly in that aspect. Yes, they've brought in some decent players, but maybe not enough.
No, I think those two have really gone for it, Liverpool and City, in the spending department in the last couple of transfer windows. Of course, this time of year you get plenty of rumours concerning players coming up to the January transfer window. This week's rumour dominating the Chelsea sort of speculation column inches was that they're going to try and swap Alvaro Morata for Gonzalo Higuain, a player that Sardi knows very well from his time at Napoli. We'll wait and see what happens with that one. As Chelsea have the ball on the far side, Azpilicueta leaves it for Kante. Kante drives towards the Leicester goal, laid off to the far side for Willian. Very fluid formation for Chelsea today. As a good strong challenge comes in from Mendy in the middle of the park for Leicester, but Chelsea have it back with Alonso left hand side. Rolls it short for Pedro. Pedro, who sometimes flatters to deceive, gives it infield for Kovacic, and then it's with Jorginho. Chelsea just moving the ball nicely, but not finding a way through Leicester as they work it out to Pedro on the left hand side. Pedro finds Hazard again. This is perhaps where they lack somebody like a Morata or Giroud that they could knock it long to, give them a different option. Eventually the cross comes in from Azpilicueta, and Schmeichel stops it from going from behind, but didn't have too many ideas on how to work out the Leicester backline on that occasion. No,
it worked out okay there, Leicester as well. It was just a wall of grey shirts in front of Chelsea, but it was sideways passing, and every time it was either they're looking for Willian or Hazard to do something to dribble past a few players. The rest of them were kind of just, like I said, passing it sideways, passing it backwards, no real incision.
Here comes Kovacic though for Chelsea. He's made a good run, works it out to Pedro, left hand side, tries to get the cross in. That's blocked in the end by Pereira. Pedro battling for it up against Albrighton, who scored the equaliser in midweek in the Carabao Cup tie with Manchester City, which Chelsea eventually went on to lose on penalties. Ball out with Willian on the far side. Willian jinks in field, again runs into a grey shirted Leicester player, and then it's worked short to Hazard, and again Chelsea have it, but at the minute going nowhere fast. Chelsea 0, Leicester 0, early stages at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea have had all of the ball but struggled to create any clear-cut opportunities. The one good chance that they have created was from a long ball over the top from David Luiz, which picked out Willian superbly, but the Brazilian didn't really gamble upon it, despite that Schmeichel had come off his line and didn't really look like he was going to get there. Willian maybe pulled out of it slightly. The ball nearly bounced past both of them and into the back of the net. As it was, it rolled wide of the target, but that is as good as it's got for Chelsea, who are playing Hazard in this false 9 position again. Leicester though stifling the home side at this moment in time. Chelsea 0, Leicester 0.
as it is everywhere else in the Premier League at the moment also. Earlier full time if you missed it, Arsenal beating Burnley by 3-1 at the Emirates. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang grabbing a brace and moving back to the top of the goal scoring charts with 12. As David Luiz just does a little bit of defensive work by smashing the ball out of play. No nonsense then from the Brazil international, who admitted that he probably would have gone out the door in the summer if Antonio Conte had remained as manager. His challenger, he does well to find the ball up to halfway, and maybe a rare bit of possession now for Leicester as they work it down that left hand side. It's Chilwell, cuts in field now, tries to exchange passes with Maddison. Chilwell gets on the end of this one into the penalty area, and he's just blocked out there. Bit of miscommunication between Luiz and Kepa. Eventually it's cleared away, but that was good play by the two Englishmen for Leicester. Yeah,
it was good football from Leicester. First time they've really attacked the heart of the Chelsea defence, and now Albrighton has it for Leicester again. Worked down the line, great pass. Pereira tries to get the cross in. He took a little bit too long, and that allowed Alonso to put a foot in and block it behind for a corner kick. I get a replay of that. Good run through the middle from Chilwell. Kepa and David Luiz nearly got in each other's way. Eventually Luiz took control of the situation and poked it out at play for a throw-in. Leicester gathering at the back post then for this corner kick, which Maddison will take. Although the linesman is not happy with the placement of the ball. Maguire and Morgan up from the back, as you would expect. Here comes the corner, drifted towards the far post, headed away by Luiz. Back into the box it comes, drops inside the penalty area for Mendy momentarily, but he can't bring it under control. Then it's back out to Maddison. Maddison cuts in on his left foot. Maddison goes down under the challenger Willie, and nobody appeals for it, not even Maddison. And then a clearance out from Chelsea goes straight to Pereira, and they work it out to Albrighton again. Albrighton, that's a good cross towards a far post. Header at goal comes in from Morgan, who'd stayed forward, but he misses the target, and that's the end of that attack for Leicester. But it was a better response from the Foxes. Yeah,
good ball in from Albrighton. You feel Morgan probably should do a little bit better. He's got the jump on Rudiger. Azpilicueta puts a little bit of pressure. Just can't get off the ground actually, can Morgan. If he's got more of a leap, then he probably gets over that one, gets a bit more power, and gets a better header on target, maybe scores. But yeah, it's not a bad response to the Foxes. They haven't been in this game much in the first half, but you don't really expect them to have much possession, to be honest.
No, you wouldn't. Not at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea have been so strong this season. Unbeaten at home. Their two defeats coming away at Wolves and Tottenham, as they win a corner kick down on this near side of the field as we look at it. Chelsea playing from right to left in this first half. Chelsea 0, Leicester 0 if you're just joining us. Independent off-tube studio commentary coverage. No point going to any other games in the Premier League, because as James said, there's no other goals elsewhere in the league at the minute, as Willian plays this ball in towards the near post. That is a woeful corner, straight out of play and behind for a goal kick. And the Leicester fans behind the goal, who have all been given free hats by the club today, will have enjoyed that one from Willian. So attack comes to nothing for Chelsea. You just feel like sometimes Chelsea could, they've got the money to go out and buy better players perhaps than Pedro in particular, I'm thinking of, which is where you talked about it before, they could do with trying to match Liverpool and City's spending power.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the swap deal with Morata, I would take that all day long, to be honest with him. Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I think wherever Higuain goes, he usually scores goals, so I'd take him ahead of Morata, to be honest. It keeps Giroud, but then again it's the fact of they only play with one up front, and Giroud will be frustrated and potentially want to go, so it's difficult. It's whether they bring in one of the youngsters up from the youth team and put them as their other recognised striker in there. I mean, they've got Tammy Abraham away on loan. Whether he's the quality, I'm not too sure, but you got Hudson-Odoi, but he's potentially not wanting to sign a new contract because he's not getting the opportunities. But when I've seen him, he's looked very lively when he's played.
Yeah, we did the Europa League game when he played quite well in that game against PAOK, and the rumours doing the rounds that I spotted this morning are that Bayern Munich are keen to sort of take a look at him and see what he's got to offer, so it might be an option for Hudson-Odoi. The ball played out to Hazard, left hand side, works it into the box. That's a great pass into the penalty area, as well to lay it off there. Alonso, Jorginho, and then eventually Kovacic lifts it up and over the crossbar. Poor finish from the man on loan from Real Madrid, who looks like he'll join permanently come the end of the season. It was a poor attempt at goal there from Kovacic.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, was it? Just leaning back, I think, when he hits it, and right-footed way over the bar. And again, you say You know, it's good defensive work by Leicester. They're forcing Chelsea to pass it sideways and then to have shots from distance. They can't get in behind at the moment. As you mentioned earlier, only that long ball forward from Louise has got in behind the Leicester defence so far.
We've had our first goal of the afternoon in the Premier League. Southampton going 1-0 up at Huddersfield. Get you the score in just a minute. Chelsea, meanwhile, in this game, have had 71% of possession. Nathan Redmond with the opening goal of the game for Southampton in that one. As the ball is back with Louise, and Louise drifts one out to the far side. For all his mistakes that David Luiz seems to have in his game, he does have a fantastic range of passing. That was another nice pass out to the far side to keep the Chelsea move going. Now here's Rudiger. Chelsea's two centre-halves are playing pretty deep inside Leicester's half of the field right now, and here's David Luiz charging forward, clips that one through, nearly finds Kante, might still come to the Frenchman. Kante can't bring it under control, and eventually it's scrambled away, and it's David Luiz is the playmaker at the minute for Chelsea. That
was a lovely attempted ball, and it was just a crucial little foot in that comes from Harry Maguire, isn't it? Just gets his right foot to it there, enough to be able to get his teammates to come back and clear the one behind. But yeah, David Luiz, you'd wonder if you could create him into sort of a holding midfielder just to pick those passes.
Hasn't it? Yeah, as here comes the corner kick, flicked on at the far post, towards the far post where Luiz is waiting, and it's just above the Brazilian as he dives in. It was Pedro with the flick on at the near post, Luiz arriving at the far post, but they couldn't take the chance.
Very close, very, very close, but poor from Leicester to allow one of the smallest players on the pitch to get in ahead. He's got there, yeah, he's nipped in ahead of Vardy. So close there. I mean, Pedro's is just off target, but Luiz is just a whisker away from popping that in at the back post and giving Chelsea a 1-0 lead. You'd probably say it would have been deserved from the opening, 17 minutes. They've seen a lot of the ball, and Leicester just content at the moment with trying to sit back.
Yeah, seems that way. David Luiz has been involved very heavily in a positive way in the early stages of this one. Sade has put on a big jacket that time of year. As the ball is out of play for a Leicester throw. Back down the line it goes to Morgan. There's another one, much like Puel, who seems like he could be on his way out. Leicester do need to perhaps move on from some of these players who won them the title. They've already done it in some cases, but a few more still knocking around who perhaps had their day. Ball out to the far side now for Maddison. There's one who's certainly entering his prime. In fact, it's Chilwell on that far side making a good run. Beats one and then goes down under the challenge of another Chelsea player. Eventually, I think he wins a corner kick. He wanted the free kick as Azpilicueta is unable to keep it in. So a corner for Leicester. What can the Foxes do from this set-piece situation? Chilwell's looked lively. Back in the team today after a couple of games out through injury. Maguire and Morgan up there again. Corner to be swung in from the far side of the field. Packed house at Stamford Bridge this afternoon. Here comes the corner, headed away by Chelsea. Hazard knocks it down inside the penalty area, and Chelsea could be away here on the counter-attack. Hazard leading the charge, rolls the ball on for Willian. Far side, he's got four up in support as he switches play towards Kante. Great pass, brought down by Kante. Back out to Alonso. Kante with it again, works it short to Jorginho. And fair play to Leicester, they've got back in numbers, they've got back behind the ball. And it's looking like Chelsea are just going to have to be patient again. As Rudiger has it once more. Rudiger tries to clip that one over the top, headed away by Morgan. And it's not like Leicester, I mean, if Puel has lost the dressing room, if the reports are to be believed, it's not like they're not playing for their manager at the minute, Leicester.
No, they're keeping the rigid structure, good formation, just stopping Chelsea. It's just a shame there for the Blues with that crossfield ball from Willian. If that dropped to Hazard in the box, you would have felt the touch may have been better and he may have looked to get a shot away or have a run at the defender. But you know, they're making Chelsea trying to do something different. They're saying, well, come on then, you're not going to get past us the normal way, so do something different, do something that's, you know, basically we'll just have to say, yeah, there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, certainly Chelsea have not found it easy to break down Leicester. Played nearly 20 minutes now, 0-0. Ball played out to the far side looking for Pedro. Headed clear, collected by Alonso. Back down the line it goes. Chelsea are going to go all the way back to their goalkeeper, Arrizabalaga, who has hardly had a touch so far. He could have been out doing his Christmas shopping for the majority of the first half. As the ball is rolled to Louise. He plays a long raking pass out towards the far side, controlled by Willian. As I can tell you, Bournemouth have taken the lead at home to Brighton. Bournemouth have been struggling of late, but got the opening goal in that one. Kante on the far side, rolls it infield now for Kovacic. Kovacic battling hard, keeps the possession, and then he works it on. Asks a lot of Alonso. Alonso will get there, tries to get the cross in, and eventually does well actually just to win the corner kick off the sliding Albrighton. Chelsea don't stretch to play as much as they should have done really, but on that occasion they did work it from right to left to win their third corner of the afternoon. David Luiz barking out the instructions, not happy about something, not sure what, but Hazard will take it, 2 fingers up in the air, clearly a signal for something. Hazard drifts that one in towards the far post. Luiz is arriving, but he's beaten in the air. Going to drop on the edge of the box now. Chelsea work it to Jorginho, but he can't find anybody with his pass, and Leicester clear their lines again. David Luiz not happy about something, but he's clearly not afraid to express his opinions on how the game's going.
No, whether he's just annoyed that Hazard didn't whip it in earlier because he'd made the run, I'm not quite sure there. But yeah, he wasn't happy with his teammate. He did aim from in the end, but Chelsea coming forward again down the left-hand side with Hazard.
Caught there, and the referee is actually going to bring play to a halt because they didn't really have an advantage, so it will be a free kick. It's a heavy challenge on him from Chowdhury. David Brooks, by the way, got the opening goal for Bournemouth in their home game against Brighton. Free kick in a good situation. They have created one chance from a set piece, but the delivery hasn't been great otherwise.
No, you'd suggest maybe someone might have the audacity to have a pop from here. It is far out on this left side, basically level with the edge of the penalty area, isn't it, in terms of the way out. But Willian may just look to try and float it towards the far post.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be outrageous to try and beat Schmeichel from here. Willian will take it right-footed, swings that one in towards the far post, headed away. It's cleared out to the penalty area by Morgan in the end, up towards the halfway line. And Chelsea will have to try and recycle possession once again. Still Chelsea 0, Leicester 0 at Stamford Bridge, and the Blues continue to find it hard work trying to break through a resolute Foxes backline. They've come close to opening the scoring on one occasion, other than Willian nearly not latching onto a Louise through ball. This time it was Louise waiting at the far post. The flick on at the near post came from Pedro, and Louise, well, his big head just brushed underneath the ball as he rose to try and nod it into the back of the net, but he couldn't get any contact on it. At the other end, Wes Morgan had a weak header wide of the target. That is as good as it's got from Leicester in attacking capacity, but they're more than holding their own in this game. Still goalless.
It's still goalless. It is in the games between City, Palace, Newcastle, Fulham and West Ham, Watford as well. Ball up towards halfway for Leicester. It's flicked on by Vardy. Maddison brings it down and just finds the ball towards Ndidi. But Chelsea easily pick up his attempted chip ball down the left-hand side, and the Blues have it back now with Louise. He'll go for a long raking ball forward as well, diagonal, and it's just going to have too much in it, I think it is. Well, again, Louise not afraid to try those sort of spectacular balls forward. No,
it was a good attempt at the pass, wasn't it, to try and get something going, because Chelsea are playing a lot of short passes and it's not opening up Leicester, so try something different. I'll let James take over for what remains of the first half, with Leicester giving a good account of themselves, I'd say.
Yeah, indeed. Even though they've only had 22% possession, Leicester, they gave up many opportunities. Just 2 you'd feel for Chelsea so far. As Chilwell will take this throw deep inside his own defensive third. The England international, who seems to have rubber stamped that left back spot as his for the 3 lines. He's been quite an emergence, as has James Maddison, to be fair, who is yet to break into that senior setup for England. He did get involved in a few of the squads, but Chilwell's... I do quite like Chilwell. Whether he's the best left back England have, I'm not sure, but at the moment he's taken the opportunity.
Yeah, he has. He's done well to fill that role, hasn't he? Thinking about who else could challenge him for a left back position. Ryan Bertrand didn't get in the World Cup squad, did he? I don't know whether Gareth Southgate doesn't fancy him, or whether it's just that Perhaps he's not shown enough to warrant a recall to the side, but Chilwell, he's looked quite good going forward today. Shown some good touches, made a good run into the box earlier on, and he's sort of knows his role in the back line as well, so I think he's doing quite well on his return. He looks actually quite fresh because he's had a sort of a week or maybe 2 weeks off through injury.
Yes, Chelsea have possession at the back with Azpilicueta. Camera's just panning to Pedro. Not sure whether he's picked up a little knock, but he's not walking around that well, a bit gingerly, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Could be an early change that Maurizio Sarri is forced into, and you never know, it could work in their favour. It could bring a Giroud on and put him through the middle, Hazard and Willian either side, and maybe offers a little bit more as Chelsea try and come forward. Kante finds the ball to the right, swung in there looking for Willian, it's volleyed away, only as far as Jorginho. Now Chelsea work it well down the right hand side. Eventually he's looking for Pedro, he digs out a low cross there, but that's well done by Ndidi. Well, I said it was well done. He tries to control it in the box, it springs towards Azpilicueta, whose right-footed shot is blasted over the bar, but could have been, well, saved his blushes there, I suppose, Azpilicueta for Ndidi by hammering it over. Yeah,
it wasn't a good finish from Azpilicueta. Had to take it first time because he was being closed down pretty rapidly, but it sort of gets underneath it and drills it way over the bar. It was better from Chelsea. They haven't really got it wide and tried to sort of put crosses into the box too often in this game thus far, and when they can stretch the play, Leicester don't look as solid.
No, I would agree with that. Is again the cameras pan over to Pedro, who seems to do okay. He put in a couple of crosses from that right side, so seems to do those in an alright fashion. There's going to be a throw for Leicester with Chilwell just before halfway. Finds Maddison, then Chilwell volleys it forward, but that's poor though, easily given away. Chelsea have it back with Hazard outside of the right football towards Willian, and there's a bit of a closing down from Maguire as well. Then he tries to chip a ball over the top of the defence, and Vardy will spring out to this left channel now as he just keeps it in. He's up against Rudiger, cuts back onto his right foot, tries to deliver a cross, it deflects up in the air, then Kante wins that ahead of Ndidi. Kante still has possession, and now they can try and come forward. Can tell you Manchester City have broken the deadlock at home, so Man City 1, Palace 0. As Hazard is caught offside, as he looked like he sprung the offside trap. Just hasn't quite worked for him though. Maybe a little bit of frustration showing, but it's very well. It's even in terms of there's not many chances in the game, but of course there's much more possession for the home side. Yeah, there is. They're dominating the ball. They're having over 70% of the possession, but they're just not making it work at the minute. And the longer it goes on like this, the more you think, well, they're going to bring Giroud on at some point to try and change the game. Right now, Leicester are looking pretty comfortable. The three across the middle are giving good protection to the back four, Chowdhury, Mendy and Ndidi, not offering a great deal going forward, but working hard to keep Chelsea out. Game plan is working pretty well for Leicester. Indeed, as they're coming down the right, Albrighton with a lovely ball in, header behind, corner kick it will be for the Foxes. That's good work by Rudiger to head it back. There's a penalty for Watford in the game at the London Stadium. That's still 0-0. I can tell you it was Ilkay Gundogan who opened the scoring for City. Could be a long old afternoon for Crystal Palace, who've had some thumping defeats at the hands of the citizens. So maybe Roy Hodgson will go for damage limitation in that game. But Leicester have a chance now to take the lead from the set piece. 29 minutes on the clock. Morgan's up from the back, and Maddison puts his left arm in the air, whips this one in, right footed outswing delivery, and Maguire nearly getting on the end of that one. It skims off his forehead. Chilwell then delivers it back in, and then, well, Chelsea managed to get their heads to it. Well, then Hazard looks like he gives away a free kick, and he does. He's just been beaten to the ball first there by Nampalys Mendy, and, well, I thought the referee was going to get a yellow card out there, but he's just getting his spray. And yes, it was a free kick and a decent chance. Yeah, good opportunity again. That was not a bad corner kick, one for them to go and attack, and this time it's a free kick again in a position where you think it's too far out for a shot at goal. So Maddison, Chilwell stood over it. Probably suited the left foot of Chilwell, trying to drift this one in towards the far post. And indeed, I thought there was a penalty at Watford, well, at West Ham, but nothing's been said as this. Well, this free kick comes in, and I don't even know what that was attempted to do. They've just chipped it into the box, straight into the arms of Kepa. No one is near them. Dreadful free kick from Leicester. When you're not creating much from open play, really should be doing better in those kind of situations rather than just kicking it straight through to
Azabilaga.
Yeah, continue. Watford have taken the lead. It's West Ham 0, Watford 1. Don't know what was going on. But we'll get the goal score when that comes through. There's going to be a yellow card dished out as well. Hazard brought down on the halfway line on this near side by Wilfred Ndidi, and he's the first player to go into the book. First caution from referee Lee Probert. As Chelsea have the ball back on halfway, Rudiger finds